Good evening, everybody out there. This Mike and my brother Jay, and we back. It's been a while since I've been on here. It's been had a lot going on, man. How you been, brother?
I've been great, man. I've been blessed, man.
All praises to the
God is
Most
good.
High, man. Yeah, it's been a while, man. I had Feast of Tabernacles. I had some other stuff going on, man. It's been a journey, man. I'm just happy that and I'm trying to save it on your joint. I mean, share it on your joint. They fronting on me. Um, it's been it's been a joy, man. Just having like going out doing Feast of Tabernacles and all that kind of stuff, man, and uh serving the Most High and running around for the High Holy Month. It had you running around a lot, but it's for Him. And you know what I'm saying? And it was a good experience, man. How you been over this last month and a half? We ain't been on here in a while. How you been, brother?
I've been good, man. Finished up my last fall season game this year. You know what I mean?
So
So
you done, or you go back in the fall next year?
I'm done right now, man. You know what I mean? Like
Right now, you
right now,
done, or you like a boxer? You know how them boxers be coming out of retirement all the time?
nah,
You
I'm done. You might get me to do a you might be able to get me to do a workout, but as
you
far
know
as
how
coach,
the boxers they be fighting, then they retire, then they
yeah,
come out of retirement, then they
mm-mm.
fight again. You know how they be doing, man.
No, thank you.
How it's feeling though?
I mean, it's feeling good. You know what I mean? Like I tell the kids, like last time I spoke with the kids, basketball don't owe me nothing, and I don't owe basketball
Mm,
nothing. You know what I mean?
mm,
I respect
mm.
the game respected me, and now it's just time for me to spread a different message, man. You know what I mean? So
Indeed, indeed. All praises to the Most High. Tonight we're gonna go from the Living Sober book. We're gonna
you
talk about
recording shit? Oh, I see it.
live and let live. You
Okay.
know what I'm saying? We're gonna talk about that. So we're gonna get out. I'm gonna pull it up on the screen. Then we're gonna read and get at it, man. It says, "Live and let live." The old saying, "Live and let live," seems so commonplace. It is easy to overlook its value. Of course, one reason it has been said over and over for years is that it has proved beneficial in many ways. We AAs make some special uses of it to help us not drink. This particularly helps us cope with people who get on our nerves. Reviewing once more a little of our drinking histories, many of us can see how very, very often our drinking problem appeared to be related somehow to um other people. Experimenting with beer or wine in our teenage years seemed natural since so many others were doing it and we wanted their approval. Then came weddings and bar mitzvahs and christenings and holidays and football games and cocktail parties and business lunches, and the list can go on and on. In all of these circumstances, we drink at least partly because everyone else was drinking and seemed to be expect us to. Talk about that a little bit, bro. Where you how you resonate with that?
I mean, I go back to the title, live and let live. You know what I mean? And I always would say when I was out, don't worry about me, worry about you. You know what I'm saying? Like I know what I'm doing. I can handle this. You know what I'm saying? But it
hmm
goes back to being in control. You know what I'm saying? And
hmm
you know, uh, the drinking until you really understand it, you don't think it's a problem. You know what I'm saying? So
hmm
I always used to be like, like we laugh about it now, but if I was drinking old duels, I'd be like, yo,
hmm
I'm good. You know what I'm saying? But you was always longing for something to satisfy that craving that you was having, man. So
hmm
that's and then when you go to the football game, so I mean, like every Sunday, I would find myself in a different bar watching games, and
hmm
that definitely entailed heavy drinking. So
Yeah.
I don't miss that.
Yeah. My experience in this was a little different. Like I started drinking at St. Peter's by myself. So
Hmm.
by the time I got the King, I was already like drinking. So I didn't have to be around other people to want to get it going. I was the one initiating, like, let's get it going. You get what I'm saying? Like, so that part didn't really relate to me, but having the drinks at every occasion that they
Mm-hmm.
was talking about was definitely the thing early on. Once I got comfortable with doing it, then it became that mere habit of like, all right, let's get it in, let's do this, let's do that. You know what I'm saying? I wanna have that feeling. It just seemed like in the beginning it made everything better. It
Yeah.
made everything more fun. Like it made you want to look forward to the next day. And the recovery was easier. Like the recovery from the hangovers, recovery from the tiredness. When you're young, you know what I'm saying? You just jump up that next day and you could get at it again. You know
Oh
what
yeah.
I'm saying?
I mean,
Where
I had a
where when we
routine, man.
huh?
I had a routine where I would just, go in the bathroom, run the water, sweat it out, and then feel like I could go back out and do it again. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
it's just a mindset. You know what I mean? A reckless mindset at the time too. So
Mm-hmm. 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 And that like that that just had me in a cycle for years, bro. It
oh
had
yeah,
me in a cycle of like thinking I was the next best thing, and then it gets bad when I started to look forward to it.
oh yeah.
Like I needed to look forward to it. Like I didn't even want to come around or come see you or this or that if we wasn't gonna be having those sips and being able to get nice as we used to call it. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Yep.
So I could definitely relate to what they talking to in that. Then it says, those of us who begin to drink alone or to sneak a drink now and then often did so to keep some other people or person or people from knowing how much or how often we drink. We rarely like to hear anybody else talk about our drinking. If they did, we frequently told them reasons for our drinking as if we wanted to ward off criticism or complaints. Yes. Yes, I definitely can resonate with that, man. I didn't want people to know like how often I was drinking or what I had going on or this or
Mhm.
that. So it was definitely um me trying to tell them trying to act like it ain't that bad. I had that little, the remember the blue trunk thing that people used to take to college, that wooden thing. It
Okay.
had different colors. And you open it up, but it was like a wood case, and you put
Mhm.
all that type of stuff. Like most people had them when they was going off to college and stuff. Man,
Uh-huh.
that joint was perfect to put alcohol in it. And I
Mhm.
closed that joint up, so
Yeah.
that was like my little bar thing. But I would just keep it open on the joint. Then I knew it started to become a problem because I started to get stingy with it. I ain't really want to share with everybody like that. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? I ain't really want everybody to be able to come in there and get some. So that's when like, all right, you starting to drink alone, you starting to confiscate it, you starting to hide it, you starting to act stingy with it in terms of that. So that that's when it was a problem, man.
Oh
I
yeah.
had some company coming over, I'd take me some shots to do this and do that, you know what I mean? Like, but it started to become a sneaky thing. So then
Mhm.
like what's going on. What's your experience with that? What they was talking about in that paragraph?
I mean, the drinking alone is, to me, is for me. It was like the start of my depression. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Because it was nobody there to hold me accountable. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm.
wasn't nobody there to be like, "Yo, man, you drinking too much. Put that down." You know what I'm saying? I didn't have to worry about
Mm.
what nobody was thinking when I was drinking in the dark. You know what I mean? Well, I call drinking in the dark when you're drinking by yourself.
Mm. Mhm.
You know what I mean? Because
Mhm.
you don't. The sad part is you don't even know why you drink it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You just
Yeah.
drinking. You just drinking to be drinking. You know what I mean? So I'll never forget. One of my friends told me. They said, "You're not an alcoholic." They said you just abuse alcohol. You know what I mean? And I had to think about it. I was like, "Hey, I'm drinking just to be drinking." You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
because it's here. You know what I mean? And like you
Yeah.
said, to go back off of the first point we made tonight, I could remember being at work, just looking at the clock, waiting for it to say 4:30.
Uh-huh.
So I
Uh-huh.
could get up out of there and go to the bar. And then I'm like, I'm in the bar from 4:30 to 12:30. And I gotta wake
Whoo.
up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go back to work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, Drinking alone, honestly, sometimes when I look back on it, it was real selfish. You know what I'm saying? So like like you said, you would have somebody come over and you would try to drink as much as you can before they got
Yeah,
to drink
indeed,
your stuff.
indeed.
You know what I'm saying? Or if you come into the house, you better bring something with you because I ain't giving you none of mine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Now I was kind of good at uh um sharing when like company came over, but I'm talking about like in the college days, if I had some female company come over, I'm gonna
yeah,
take me a couple shots before I even start drinking with her because I don't want her to know I drink that
nah,
much. You get
you
what I'm saying?
that wasn't the reason why you was drinking those. You was drinking them shots because you thought that was going to help you go a little bit longer. That's what it is. You know?
Nah, the I didn't like the we used to call it the 2-minute drill. You know what I'm saying? You
Uh-huh.
got to get that like the hurry up offense. You know what I'm saying? So to get the alcohol in, but not understanding that made the alcoholism worse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That made the
Because you started to
alcoholism worse.
depend on it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, 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 100%, 100%. So let's see what else they talking about on here. Um, it says some of us found ourselves argumentative or even belligerent towards other people after drinking. Yet others of us felt we were really got along better with people after a drink or two. Whether it was a social evening, a tense cell, a job interview, or even making love. What you was just talking
we
about.
just talked
Talk
about
about that
that.
a little bit, bro. Did you
Huh?
which one of these you found yourself doing?
I mean, to be honest, I tell people all the time, right? I mean, and like I said, we always been open on podcasts. And when when I became sober, and
Mm-hmm.
like I said, when I gave my life to God, the only person I really say that was mad was the person, the other head that I think would. You know what I mean? So,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
my sexual appetite just went from, somebody who was just I needed all the time to just like I only want to be with one person. You know what I mean? So like,
Mm-hmm.
once I removed the alcohol, because I had to think about it, I said 9 times out of 10 when I was doing something that involved sex, I was drinking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm taking somebody out on a date, you know what I mean? We drinking, next thing we sexing, you know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
when I
Mm-hmm.
took the alcohol off the equation, and then like I said, just being faithful to somebody, you know what I mean? Like I never forget when I first started before I was married, and I stopped drinking before I was married. Then I told my wife, I was like, hey, there's one way that you're gonna know that I cheated on you. And she said, how? I said, if I ever come home smelling like alcohol. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's
and
deep, bro.
like I said,
That's deep.
you
That's
know,
deep.
going on, 14 years later, it's like, hey, man,
That's
I
deep. That's
thank
deep.
God for the journey. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, a lot of decisions that we make and a lot of false images as far as who we are was because of the alcohol. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
bro, there wasn't
Mm-hmm.
a time where I didn't think I could talk to any chick. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
that was all fueled by the alcohol. You know what I'm saying? Like,
100%.
the
100%.
alcohol definitely brought power, but in that power, it also brought pain. You know what I mean? Because
Oh.
now you think about how many people, especially when I got daughters, you know what I mean? I think about how many people's daughters I did wrong. You know what I'm saying? And now I
Mm-hmm.
got, my own daughters, and now I got, two grandbabies, two granddaughters and a
Mm-hmm.
grandson. And I'll be like, hey, man, I got to pray and ask God every day continuously, you know what I mean, to forgive me for the sins I committed in my life. You know what I mean? And the majority of those sins was under the influence of alcohol. So,
Facts. Facts. The with me, alcohol brought out my codependency more in terms of like wanting to make everybody else around me happy.
yeah.
Like all my friends and all that stuff, people that used to be around me, we'd go out. I'm trying to buy stuff. I'm trying to make sure everybody have a good time. I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
be the person that's gonna pull up with the trunk full of Ciroc bottles, and I'm gonna make sure that we all got drinks. And it just brought out that codependency, which was, you know what I'm saying, from insecurity and all of that kind of stuff. But it brought out that codependency more. When it came to the women, it turned me into like very, very promiscuous in terms of and definitely cheating. And like you, I never really cheated sober. Like
Mm-hmm.
because consciously, I probably knew it was wrong,
Yeah.
and so I always had to be under the influence when I was doing it and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
The the regrets from it, like just just thinking about some of the decisions I made and the places I would go just to have that end result from seeing somebody, and it was all alcohol driven.
Mm-hmm.
So to understand that, like, I was never belligerent, and I'm not gonna argue with my friends or fight on women and do nothing like that under the influence. It was
Mm-hmm.
just more like I never had enough of the pleasurable part of it. Like I
Yeah.
wanted more and more and more, and it was like when I put that spirit in me, it would ignite that demon, that lust demon. It would just ignite more. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you know that when they say alcohol spirits, that thing real.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so even in the me being an Israelite now, I couldn't drink and do this. I
Mm-hmm.
thank the Most High that He has me like sober, because I wouldn't be able to stay in what I'm doing, being able to drink, even if I was able to go out to the bar and drink wine, and you know how we are, like that's
Yeah.
gonna be like for a week, and then it's up.
Nah.
It's up after that. You know what I mean? Like it's
You're
it
gonna
ain't
make up
gonna
for
be
every day
no
you missed for the last couple of years.
100%, 100%. Say that again, because that was definitely important what you just said.
I said you're gonna try to make up for all the days you missed, and the past couple of years you stopped drinking in a week. You know what I mean?
Ooh,
So
definitely right about
you
that. You
know.
definitely that's what we
But
used to do. Go ahead.
let me ask you this. I mean, maybe you could share this with the people tonight. I wrote it down. I said you was talking about drinking with your friends and stuff like that. I said, how did it make you feel about your friends and then women that you used to deal with once you became sober? You know what I mean? Like, how did those relationships change and when you stopped drinking?
For most of the women I made amends to, and we cool. You get what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Because I wasn't really like a wicked person or anything like that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? They knew that, like, I had a lust issue. So once I made amends with them, you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying, either over the phone or in person, we cool with most of the guys I used to drink with. Some of them I still talk on the phone with. Some of them don't drink no more.
Yeah.
But a lot of them that I used to go out. Of course, I don't go out with them. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? And hang out and do things of that nature. Like, it was interesting. I was thinking about going to my homecoming this weekend to see some people and stuff. And then I talked to my wife about it, and I decided, nah, it's not the atmosphere for me to be in. You know what I'm saying? And I just don't want to get like pulled back into that world. And you know what I'm saying? Like the adversary, all he needs is a little crack
Oh yeah.
in that
But
door. You know what I mean?
but
And
always.
that's you.
Oh,
I ain't doing it.
I know what you mean, man. But I
I
will
ain't
say
doing
this,
it.
bro. Like I said, you inspire me, iron sharpen iron, man. And when you got that word of God with you, when you praying every day, and you
Yeah,
pray as much as you praying, and
yeah,
you praying as
yeah,
a couple with your wife. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Your wife always gonna be supportive of what you do. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
But at the
yeah,
same time, your wife know that you know it's still in you to be afraid of going around that. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. Oh yeah, no doubt. We talked about it, and it ain't good. Like, I know me.
Yeah,
It's no it's no like it's no reason for me to really be there to
yeah,
except to I'm socialized and stuff like that, and it's understandable, but there ain't no reason to risk nothing.
yeah,
It
yeah.
ain't. It ain't. You get what I'm saying? I'm not yearning for that life anymore.
Oh yeah.
So you know what I'm saying. So as if you want to contact people and stuff like that, you could just hit them on Facebook, send them a message and stuff like that. Say what up. You know what I
I
mean?
ain't mad at you, man.
Or we could have something where they go to they should meet at a church on Sunday and then go to lunch.
But I
Everybody.
saw that they did that. They did that
You know what I
down
mean?
here, which was shocking, man.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope.
The,
Something
to
like that.
start the homecoming,
Yeah,
they started on a Sunday. So like the people that want to go to church, they
yeah,
just
something
like
like
the
that.
church service
Like
in the
something
auditorium.
different, something
Yeah,
different. Like meeting at bars and all that. That's been
yeah.
forever.
Nah, don't
You know
nothing
what I
good
mean?
from that. So
Yeah, 100%, 100%. So that's why that. But great question though. That was a great question though. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna throw you that same question. What about how has that been with you?
I mean, it was different, man, because the majority of the people I hang with still in the world. You know what I mean? So, like,
Mhm.
you know, not only was it the drinking issue, but then my faith became an issue. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, 100%,
I
100%.
tell people all the time, you know, what I mean? Like people like, yo, man, you go hard for the Lord, blah blah blah. I'm like, yo, I was going hard for the devil when I was out in the street, so
Ooh,
I can't go
facts,
hard for God. You know, once I gave my
facts.
life to God, and once you see what He has done, even
Yeah,
after all the stuff you've done, you know what I'm
facts,
saying?
facts,
The grace that
facts.
God has given me, it's like, look, man, I don't play with that. You know what I mean? I tell people all the time, you know, my Trinity is God, my sobriety, and my wife. That's
Mm,
it. You know what I'm saying?
I
You
like
met
that, bro.
you. I didn't mention my kids or my grandkids. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I got to be the head. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the first thing I got to do is give my life to God. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
And the
facts.
second thing is I got to realize there's nothing that could jeopardize my sobriety. You know what I'm saying? Like,
hmm
you know,
hmm
sometimes that may be your kids. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Woo, you
you
preaching
know,
tonight, boy.
but
Yeah,
and then, like I
yeah.
said, my wife is the most important thing outside of my sobriety and God. You know what I'm saying?
hmm
Like that's
hmm
it. So
Always, always. Let's see what else they talking about. It says, often we felt angry and fearful even toward people we had not that had not criticized us. Hold up. Go
mm,
back to Oh no, wait, no, I skipped some. I skipped. Drinking caused many of us to choose our friends according to how much they drank. Woo. We even changed friends when we left. We had outgrown their drinking styles. We preferred real drinkers to people who just took one or two and tried to avoid tattletellers.
wow.
Teetotalers. I guess I don't know what that is, but wow. What you got for that, bro?
I mean, bro, I used to drink with females like religiously Monday through Sunday. You know what I'm saying? Like religiously, bro. You know what I mean? And you know, once I stopped drinking, I was like, oh, what we really got in common. You know what I'm saying?
Whoa,
You know what I mean?
whoa,
Like
whoa,
I
yeah.
got love. I got love for them. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm,
I'm
mhm,
pretty sure they got love for me. But
mhm,
the love that they had for me while I was drinking was
mhm,
insane. You know what I'm saying? You
mhm,
know? And once you stop drinking, you like, wait, like I said, we really don't got that much in common. You know what I'm saying? I can
mhm,
invite you to church, you're gonna be like, huh? You know what I'm saying?
mhm, mhm,
But if you invite me to the bar, you expect me to come. You know what I'm saying? Like, no,
mhm,
I'm not doing that no more. You know what I mean? So, like I said, at one point, when we really think about it, uh, what we drink and where we drink, look at the circle of people that we was with at that time. They all added
mhm,
up. You know what I'm saying?
mhm,
You know, when we was broke, we was drinking with the E and J people. You know what I'm saying?
mhm.
We was drinking with the St. Ives people or the OE people. You know what I mean? Then
Yeah,
when
in
you started,
college and stuff like that.
yeah,
Yeah,
then when you
yeah.
started to get successful, you like, whoa, I got Louis in front of me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, now
Uh-huh,
you top
uh-huh.
shelf for me. Man, my wife joked to this day, man. I used to be in a bar talking about add it all up. I got it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm,
you know,
mhm,
I come in a bar or somewhere, you know, the DJ like, yo, JJ Hoops in the building, blah, blah, blah. I'm
mhm.
like, this is crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You know, the
yeah.
more you think about it now, but at that time, my lifestyle was really based around the people that was around me because they was out of control too.
That's what I'm saying. That's where my point is at. Like me being from Trenton and the friends I had, like they drink too. We party too. We party hard. All of us party together. Now, when I started to see a little difference in my drinking, was like I'll be out with them. Like we'll go to this place where HK first opened. Bar in
Mhm.
Trenton, you get like cheap drinks and cheap beers for cheap price. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But one day I was in there, and you could get double shots, and you could get single shots, double shots, triple shots, all
Mhm.
that kind of stuff. My friends was drinking regular shots, and I was drinking triples and quadruples, but I was drinking them at the rate that they
They
was drinking, and I was looking at them, and I wanted to slow up so I could seem like I was drinking like they was drinking,
Mhm.
but I had already started. So you know how we are when we already start.
0 to 60.
Yeah, it wasn't no. I
Yeah.
couldn't slow up to try to act like I was drinking like they was drinking. So what I would do was I would drink before I came there.
Mm-hmm.
So then I could try to pace myself so I wouldn't be look like too obvious that I was drinking more than them.
Yeah.
Or and then I would buy me something to take home.
That's
So
a
then when
bad
I
one.
got to the basement by myself, you know what I'm talking about? When I
Yeah,
got to the
yeah.
basement by
Oh yeah.
myself, then I
Yeah.
could drink like I wanted to drink. You know what I mean?
That's
So
it.
that was the that was the um that was the thing of that when it came to. So I really never had to change friends.
Yeah.
I just had to drink with them and then drink by myself,
Oh,
like that type of thing. You
well,
know what I'm
we always laugh because sobriety comes with sacrifice. You know what I
saying?
mean?
100%, 100%,
And
100%.
you know the circle of friends that I ran with from long break.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? And like I said, I don't know if I could say the sad part because for me it is what it is. But
Mm-hmm.
I barely hear from any of them brothers these days. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
and whether it's good or whether it's bad, like I said, I put my trust in God, and I just pray for people that they can find the truth and they could become sober, man. Because alcohol is the gateway drug. They used to say marijuana the gateway drug.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Mm-hmm.
alcohol is the gateway drug, man. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, indeed. It says many of us were guilty and angry about the way our family reacted to our drinking. Some of us lost jobs because a boss or a colleague at work objected to our drinking. We wish people would mind their own business and leave us alone. Um, I never really like with my family and stuff. Like by the time I got to the point to where they would have started being like that, it was over.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like I had checked myself in. It was over the second time. You get what I'm saying?
yeah,
So, and I shielded myself from a lot of that being spending a lot of time by myself.
yeah.
So I never really had to deal with that as much. You got anything on that?
I mean, the family dynamic definitely plays a part of it. I mean, especially for me. I mean, I felt
Mm-hmm.
as if
Mm-hmm.
I inherited the alcoholism
Oh,
from my
yeah,
family. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah.
And then going to family functions is like, hey, you either gonna get in or get out. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
And as I begin to get better, I thought my family would be more supportive and more open to it, but it was more like they was, I'm not gonna say hating, but just waiting for the day for me to be like, I'm gonna come back and start drinking again. You know what I'm saying? So,
I
I
gotta
had
send you
that.
that. Oh, you just hit that joint where I'm gonna send you that. I just watched the Darby joint on. I was putting the clips on when he was talking about the generational curses,
Hmm.
bro. And he talk about when you come to God, and then you really live in the life,
Yeah,
and then that that demon be on some people in your family that's mad that you're not into that no more, and that demon like, what you mean you going this other way? Like, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
This is the thing we've been doing for years. How dare you go that way? You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
that joint's deep, bro.
But it
That
go
joint's
back to
deep.
what you say, man. It's a false narrative of growing up in the church, growing up in a black family. You know what I mean? Like going to church on Sunday. Coming from the club on Saturday, going to the church on Sunday, and sitting there praising the Lord like you really love God. You know what I'm saying? Like
Talk about it.
you
Talk about
faking
it.
the funk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then it's like, okay, I always tell people all the time. A lot of people pray for me. That's how I became sober. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But the people who
100%.
prayed for me, who really meant it, those are the people that I thank God for. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. Mhm.
Sometimes we might think our family got our best interests in mind, and you know, and it could be the ones closest to us. You know what I'm saying? So like, I always tell people when we talk about breaking generational curses, we look at it as one thing. You know what I'm saying? Like alcoholism might be a generational curse, and I could say I broke it. You know what I'm saying? But it's three other things that came with my alcohol addiction that I'm still working on to this day.
All facts. All
You know what I'm
facts.
saying?
All facts. All facts. But the fact that you really trying to put the effort in to break those things,
Yeah.
that's where the work comes out. Because the world teaches us to just try to get generational wealth instead of
Mhm.
trying to break generational curses. You know what I mean? And the most important thing is freeing yourself of those things. Because you got what you got, what you got, all girls?
I got as far as kids or
Yeah, yeah, kids.
kids, we got two boys, two girls.
Yeah,
Grandkids,
so what he was talking about too is the fact that you went to him and you broke that. It's gonna put that hedge over your sons and them. You get what I'm saying?
yeah.
That you had to be the one to break that thing so it don't get passed down to the
Mm-hmm.
next generation. I'm gonna send you the sermon when we get done.
Okay.
The joint is real deep. It's real
Facts.
deep. It's real deep. Says often we felt angry and fearful even towards the people that had not criticized us. Our guilt made us extra sensitive to those around us, and we nurse grudges. Sometimes we change bars, change jobs, or move to new neighborhoods just to get away from certain persons. No, I never really experienced that. You got anything in that?
I mean, I'm not gonna say I just changed my habits. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm,
you
mm-hmm.
know, like after every game when I was drinking, I would go have. I mean, excuse me, when I was coaching, I would if I was losing more, I would have a drink. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Now, 11, 12 years later, I got to change my habit. You know what I mean? So like,
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
try to, do devotions. You know what I mean? I said, then
Mm-hmm.
you put, getting in the word, and I'm like, yeah, bro, I done read 5 books in the last
I
4 months.
know, I know. You
You know what
put me
I'm
to
saying?
shame.
Like,
I'm just reading the book I got now. I'm like, bro done stepped it up. Like
yeah,
I
man, I
gotta
just
get my
went. I just picked up 2 books the other day, and then I picked up a little my first Bible for the babies that I'm gonna drop off this weekend in
oh
Florida.
man, I'm feeling you, man.
Yeah,
Like you stepped it up on the reading, but you inspire me to dig back into the reading joint. I appreciate that too,
yeah.
bro. I definitely appreciate the inspiration. You know what I mean? It says, so a great number of us besides ourselves were in one way or another involved in our drinking to some degree. When we first stopped drinking, it was a great relief to find that people we met in AA, recovered alcoholics, seemed to be quite different. They reacted to us, not with criticism and suspicion, but with understanding and concern. Wow. However, it is perfectly natural that we will encounter some people who will get on our nerves, both within AA and outside. We may find that our non alcoholic friends or coworkers or family members still treat us as if we were drinking. It may take them a little while to believe that we have really stopped. After all, they may have seen us stop many times in the past only to start again. You got
Hmm.
something on that?
I mean, yeah. I mean that start and stop. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
I've been there. I mean, like I said, for years I would just stop drinking from like January to April when it was my birthday. You know what I'm saying? And one of the questions I was thinking about while you was reading was, am I carrying guilt for the things I did while drinking, or for the fact that I became an alcoholic in the first place? And can I begin to forgive myself for simply being human? You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to
Mm-hmm.
realize as human, we definitely not perfect. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I found that out the more and more that I jump into the Bible and just seeing the imperfection of these books that were either written by imperfect people or tell stories about people that are not perfect. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
The only thing and the only person that's perfect is God Himself. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, the guilt sometimes of just beating your own self down because you're like, yo, man, why am I drinking? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It
yeah, I
goes,
remember that.
it goes back to when we first started tonight. So then now I'm gonna go in the basement. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna drink a gallon, and I can't even enjoy it because the thing is, I don't even know why I'm drinking.
Yeah, you just want that feeling.
That's it.
You want that feeling. That's it. You
You
want that
know.
feeling. You want that feeling. With me, it's more of like the of like just under just I wouldn't call it guilt anymore. It's
Mhm.
more of the urgency of owing God,
Yeah.
owing Him for what He did for me. Because I understand when I see people that I know that's still struggling with this, like He ain't have to pick me to be a person that to really get that gift of desperation to. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that part of like feeling like I don't know if I could ever pay him back. I gotta just keep going, 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 going. I owe him everything. So now I'm just being like a prisoner for him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like to go do whatever he need me to do. Like
Yeah.
that part of like I gotta that's how I feel about that. Like I owe him so much that what he did for me to turn my whole life around like that. So
Mm-hmm.
I gotta just keep going hard for him.
So when you say you owe God everything, right?
Hmm.
Uh, in terms of what?
Um, my thoughts, my actions, my life, my like everything, my focus, 100% totally on his will.
Yeah.
That's how I feel, and you know how I am. I'm extreme. So
Oh yeah.
when you hell yeah,
Yeah.
when you add that to the point of me feeling like I feel about God, so you can imagine like what be going through my mind, me being an extremist.
Oh yeah. I'll tell one of one of the points, and you elaborated on this earlier, that I think God did for you, and you might not even realize this to a point, is when He removed the sense of isolation out of you. You know what I'm saying?
Facts, facts,
You know what I
facts,
mean? Like,
facts,
'cause
facts.
what I'm gonna do? I'm not talking about basketball no more. So, you could have just went in the dark and just been like, "Yo, I ain't talking about basketball no
Yeah,
more, so
yeah,
I ain't gonna talk." You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And the crazy part is, I say when I say you inspire me, it's a daily grind. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Hmm.
if I don't
Hmm.
get a text from you in the morning, then I know something wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like,
Hmm.
you know what I mean? Because it's the consistency of whether you want to hear it or not, this is what God is telling me to do to get this message up. You know what I mean? To keep me, you know what I'm saying, where I need to be. And then the sense is, you asked me about the coaching. I go back to the basketball with you. I ain't there with where you are right now. You know what I'm saying? But I think once you became an Israelite, you had a new purpose. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. 100%.
And it was greater than basketball. You know what I'm saying?
100%. 100%.
You
100%.
could still do basketball and still be the voice for, that kid that, needs the encouragement, or you can make that highlight film for that kid. But most importantly, when you start saving lives and bringing people closer to God and spreading that message, man, that's the ultimate. You know what I mean? And then
Yeah,
it gives you peace of
yeah,
mind. You know what I mean? You don't
yeah.
owe nobody nothing for talking about Jesus. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I love that. I love that
You
one
know what I
right
mean?
there. I
That's
love
it.
that one right there.
So
Facts, man. Facts. Facts, bro. Facts, man. That's all facts. It says, however, hold up. To begin to put the concept of live and let live into practice, we must face this fact. There are people in AA and everywhere else who sometimes say things we disagree with or things that we don't like. Learning to live with differences is essential to our comfort. It is exactly in those cases that we have found it extremely helpful to say to ourselves, "Oh well, live and let live." Now, this is something I definitely had to get better at. Like, I had to get better at that, bro. Like, cause especially early in sobriety, cause I
mhm.
wanted everything to be the way I wanted it to be. I wanted you to recover the way I was recovering. I wanted you to do the steps the way that I did it. I wanted you to love God the way that I did. I wanted you to work hard for him the way that I did. And I'm still kind of like that now, just not as bad as I was before. So that's still a character defect that I gotta work on. You know what I mean? But I
Mhm.
could definitely understand what they talking about on there. What about you?
I mean, I could relate to what you just said. I mean, like you was like, look, man, you want to live or you want to die? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you ain't gonna be wasting my time, you know what I'm saying? Like, because you know what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And your fear is when you see somebody who been in that position that you was in, when they telling the truth and they not telling the truth. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Like we
Facts.
used to
Facts.
always say, like, like when me and you first started talking about recovery and sobriety, I was like, yo, I'm done. I don't have to go to AA no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you was like, yo, what you mean I don't go to AA meetings no more? You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, my thing with doing the steps is when I got to a step and I was like, okay, I finally surrendered and gave everything to God. I was like, all right,
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to do no more because God got me. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Not realizing that I was still supposed to be out there spreading the message. You know what I'm
Yeah, you
saying?
gotta help the next one.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, my
Gotta help that
testimony.
next person.
Yeah,
Yep.
my testimony is a great testimony as is yours. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And the difference is when we put God at the front of that, it could be uncomfortable for people around us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
we know from firsthand because we had those battles not only with alcohol, but we had them spiritual battles when we saw firsthand and felt firsthand what the devil was trying to do to our life. You know what I'm saying?
Sheesh.
And then we definitely felt God lift us up from where we was and put us in a place to where we are today. You know what I'm saying? So like if you don't understand the spiritual part of recovery, then I don't think you can fully recover. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm.
people say, "Hey, you
Mm.
don't have to do 12 steps. You could do this step, you could do that step." But the main thing in recovery, if you don't have a higher power, you ain't gonna recover. You know what I'm saying?
Mm. Even
That's
if
just
you
me
ain't
personally.
drinking, you just gonna be a mean, dry drunk.
That's
You
it.
just gonna still have those
Yeah,
same
that's it.
attributes. You still gonna be cheating. You still
That's
gonna
it.
be abusive. You still gonna be like everything. You just ain't gonna be picking up liquor.
Yeah.
All facts.
And
All
it's the
facts.
whole, and not about the Holy Spirit because I remember
Talk about it, bro. Talk about it.
sitting there watching you do these basketball interviews all over again, right?
Mm-hmm.
And all it would take is one thing to get you on a debate. And then that debate have you looking at somebody like, man, you don't know what you're talking about. Now I'm arguing with you like, you know what I'm saying? And now these are arguments that we used to finish with having a beer. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going back and forth with nobody. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I said for me personally, when I got to
Uh-huh.
Georgia and I said, okay, this is the third time I'm saying I'm not doing basketball. Then I
Yeah.
get here and I'm like trying to explain or show my skills to somebody else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like, yo, as Deion Sanders would say, I'm him. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm
Yeah.
sitting here saying to myself, that's what I want to be when it comes to spreading the word for God. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean?
All facts.
I want
All
to be
facts.
him. You know what I mean? I ain't there where I should be. You know what I mean? Like, I just recently, one of my daughters said, "Oh man, ever since you stopped drinking and gave your life to God," I'm like, "Well, what's wrong with that?" You know what I'm
But
saying?
I'm gonna tell you what our bishop told me before. Like, you know a lot more than you give yourself credit for.
Yeah.
Like, we don't give ourselves that credit, which is a good thing because it keeps us humble.
Mm-hmm.
But when you would come on here and speaking, and when I talk to you with different things, I learn mad stuff from the stuff you be saying, bro. For
Yeah.
real rap. Seriously, you know what I mean. So you know a lot more than you give yourself credit for. You know what I mean. It says, in fact, AA placed much emphasis on learning how to tolerate other people's behavior.
Mm.
However, offensive and distasteful it may seem to us, it is certainly not worth drinking about. Our own recovery is too important. Alcoholism can and does kill, we recall. We have learned it pays to make a very special effort to try to understand other people, especially anyone who rubs us the wrong way. For our recovery, it is more important to understand than to be understood. This is not a very difficult this is not very difficult if we bear in mind that the other AA members too who are trying to understand just as we are. In that kind of situation, I seen it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I got better in that when I was first young in it. I used to get offended by like some people would feel some kind of way, like if I talked about God, or some people would.
Mm-hmm.
I ran into some racial issues
Yeah.
in a couple of meetings, a couple of places and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And then
Yeah.
I just had to understand after a while, like AA is like the meetings are like a hospital.
Mm-hmm.
People coming in here still sick. Some of us sicker than others.
Yeah.
But you know what it really taught me too, bro? To
What's
take
that?
back to what you were just talking about. You could kind of tell who in the meeting actually did the steps or not.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
By the way they treat other people, by the way they act around you, by their demeanor. You could tell who actually put in that work and had that spiritual change, that psychic change that the book talk about. Like, you could tell who actually went down that road by the way they carry themselves when they inside those rooms. You get what I'm saying? So that's what I got about that one. What you got on it?
I mean, I got a lot, man. I mean,
I saw you writing the stuff.
it's like that to try to understand and not to be understood. You know what I mean? Like that's deep. You know what I mean? And then going back to the racial aspect of when I got my sobriety and I started my steps, I was the only black person in this.
Oh, I've been to many meetings like that.
Yeah, you know
I've
what
been to
I'm
many
saying?
meetings like that.
And
Yeah.
then I mean, I put arrows going both ways on the racial issues, right? Because
Yeah.
everything that we do is going to some way revert back to racism in this country. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Whether you're an Israelite, I'm a Christian, whether you black or white, you know what I'm saying? Everything going to revert back to race at some point. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to doing the steps and we give an inventory of all our character defects, you know what I mean? That's letting go of that racism. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm.
you know, that's sitting there saying, you know what, I might have had a problem with this dude, or I might have had a problem with this person, right? But I'm gonna make amends, and then I'm gonna pray and ask that God forgives me and for what I've done and what
Mm-hmm.
I might have done to somebody else. You know what I'm saying? And that's the
Mm-hmm.
thing. In order to truly be recovered, it goes back to that understanding part. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Mm-hmm.
question God and say, God, why you do this? You know what I'm saying? Like, true story, man. I was thinking last week and I said, well, my mom died, you know, like I play a song, you know, every day that remind me of a situation. And I'm like, yeah, my mom died. And realistically, outside of my wife, the next person that I saw was you. And then
Mm-hmm.
outside of that, we was praying together. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I kept saying to myself, why? Right? Going back to the understanding, right? I understand when God has a plan, he already planned for you to come to that hospital. You know what I'm saying? Like, why I
Mm.
call Mike Melton moments after my, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, all facts,
you
all
know what I'm
facts.
saying?
Yeah,
Like, because
yeah.
God said, this is what I'm gonna need you to do. I need you to be strong, right? What you mean I need you to be strong? Who can show you strength better than this man? All this things, all the stuff he been through, you know what
Mm.
I'm saying?
Mm.
And it goes back to what you said to me that day. It's all about showing up. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So after I went to that first AA meeting and I walked in and I was the only black person there, I had a choice if I came back. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? If I
Mm-hmm.
showed up for that next meeting, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And the
Mm-hmm.
reason why I showed up for that next meeting because before I left out of the meeting, everybody was coming to get me like I was a top 5 draft pick in the NBA.
Yeah, yeah, and
To
they
be my,
always gonna remember you too, because you're the
yeah,
only
to be
black
my
person. They gonna be
sponsor.
like,
You know
"Hey,
what I'm saying?
John."
Yeah, and then bro, I'll never forget. I left with so much literature, right? But then
Yeah.
on top of that, I left with CDs. And I can
Mm.
remember driving or dropping my wife off to work. And for those 90 minutes, I'm just listening to Bill. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, that's dope, man. That's dope.
Yeah. I'm like, yo, this is for real. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
that's dope, man. That's dope. It says, we have learned it pays to make a very special effort to try to understand other people, especially anyone who rubs us the wrong way. For our recovery, it's the most important to understand than to be understood. Hold up, did I read that part already? There's a very different. Yeah, hold up. Let me go down. Usually, it says usually people like us, other in our neighborhood, a company or a club or AA, gravitate towards each other. When we spend time with people we like, we are less annoyed by those who don't particularly care for it. As times go on, we find that we are not afraid simply to walk away from people who irritate us. Instead of meekly letting them get under our skin, or instead of trying to straighten them out, just so that they will suit us better. None of us can remember anyone's forcing us to drink alcohol. No one ever tied us down and poured the booze down our gullets. Just as no one physically compelled us to drink, no one can make sure no one will mentally drive us to drink either. Yeah, so with me, like it was plenty of joints that I went to, and I can remember when I first got in, I had went to my sponsor and told him like, yo man, they be wilding in that meeting. That meeting, he said, you got an app, don't you? I said, yeah. He said, go to another meeting.
bro, I didn't know it
He
was
said
that
it's
many
billions.
meetings
He said it's
out there like
billions of
that.
meetings, man. He said, why you don't gotta go there? Like it's Go there, and that's the dope part about it. There's so many different styles, there's so many different meetings. That meeting guide app, man, you hit that joint anywhere in the country, you could go to any meetings you want, bro. That
That's
joint is
great.
fire, bro. That app right there is fire, bro.
Mm.
Like that joint pop up all the time. You know what I'm saying? Um, let me see. You got anything on that before I go to the next thing?
No. I'm trying to put something together for you. I got a couple end of the lesson questions for you, man.
Okay. All right. All right. It is a very easy for us to use other people's action as an alibi for drinking. Wow.
Mm.
We used to be experts at it, but in sobriety, we have learned as a new technique. We never let ourselves get resentful towards someone else that we allow that person to control our lives, especially to the extent of causing us to drink. We have found that we have no desire to let any other person run or ruin our lives. Wow.
That's crazy.
Oh, I went down too far. Hold up. An ancient sage said that one person should criticize another until we have walked a mile in the other person's shoes. This wise advice can give us greater compassion for our fellow human beings, and putting it into practice makes us feel much better than being hungover. And that comes until you like know people's stories. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And I had to learn that when I first worked where I worked at with the kids, because I had prejudged the kid. One time I thought he was from a snooty uh neighborhood, think like Middletown or something. And nah, and I thought he was just trying to be like
A
tough and
smart
stuff
guy.
like that. When
Yeah.
I first got there, come to find out he had came from up north in the hood and he had just moved there. But when I heard his whole story,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, damn. So I went up to him and apologized. You know what I'm saying? And
Oh yeah.
ever since that moment, I don't never do that no more. I wait to see what who somebody is. I listen to their story and stuff. You feel what I'm saying? Because we can, like, when you prejudging and you don't know what nobody's going through. You know, so many people came up to me, bro, and was like, after those two documentaries came out, so many people came up to me and was like, man, I had no idea you was going through all that.
Yeah.
You never know what somebody's going through.
That's
You know
it.
what I'm saying? So you could be really bothering somebody and push them to the limit, and then they just go crazy, and you wonder, you don't know what's going on at home. You don't know
Exactly.
what's going on at work. You don't know what's going on in their life. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So that's what I got for that part
I
about the
mean,
prejudging.
it's like this pen. I tell my kids all the time. You got your own pen. You write your own story. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
You give
mm,
somebody else the pen, and you tell them to write the story about John Rogers. They're gonna write it however they want to write it. You know what I mean?
mm,
They
mm,
just going they might stick on all the bad stuff I did. You know what I'm saying? You
mm,
know, they
mm,
might do 8 chapters of all the bad stuff, and not the chapter 9 going to be recovery.
mm,
You know
mm,
what I'm saying? Nothing
mm,
about God, nothing about being faithful or anything else like that. So, you
mm.
know, and
That's
then
deep.
like you said, man, I like that point when they said nothing could really, no person should make you drink or want to drink. You know what I'm saying?
Mm, mm,
I mean, once I got past that, that's when my sobriety really, I knew it was for real. You know what I mean? Like my dad had passed away. As soon as he passed away, I went to the funeral, I spoke, and I started drinking. You know what I'm saying? My mom
mm.
passed away this time. I wasn't even thinking about drinking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
That's what it's about, bro. That's what
mhm.
it's about. All praise for, and other people needed to hear that because somebody gonna go through that too.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? It says, when we have worked out ways to enjoy our own living, then we are content to let other people live any way they want if it's our own lives are interesting and productive. We really have no impulse or desire to find fault with others or worry about the way they act. Yeah, that's something I had to get better at, bro, because I wanted to control everybody and everything around me.
Hmm.
Now I just be like, yo, like even with the kids, I try to tell them because I be wanting to cushion that fall.
Yeah.
But sometimes that fall is what's gonna get their attention and have them ready for
Oh
what
yeah.
God wants them to do. You know what I mean? So I had
You,
to get better at that too, man.
oh yeah. One thing I learned is you can't stop the fall. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
You
fact.
can help the impact. You know what I'm saying? You might be able to get somebody some ice and put it on their head. You know what I'm saying? But We all had to fall. You know what I
We all
mean?
had to fall.
I
Facts.
mean,
We all
one of
had
the
to
greatest
fall.
scriptures, we all fall short of the grace. You know what I'm saying? Like,
100%. 100%.
that's it. So
Can you think right this minute of someone who really bothers you? If you can, try something, postpone thinking about him or her and whatever it is about the person that riles you. You can boil inside about it later if you want to, but right now, why not put it off while you read the next paragraph? Live. Be concerned with your own living. In our opinion, staying sober opens up a way to life and happiness. It is worth sacrificing many of a grudge or argument. Okay, you didn't manage to keep your mind completely off that other person. Let's see whether the suggestions coming next will help. That goes back to the video I just made the other day when it was talking about that 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 hatred in your heart is what keeps you hindering your healing. Man,
oh yeah,
I heard some testimonies about people that had cancer and once they forgave people, like really, really forgave the people they had issues with,
they
that's when they
became
the cancer went away.
mhm.
You know what I'm saying? They said that hate in your heart to keep you like keep that
That
sickness
malice,
in you.
man.
Yeah. All facts, man. All
Oh.
facts. So what stuff you said you have for me?
So I just wanted to do this. It's like 5 steps, really six, but I mean it's like where I came from. So I'll give you
Mm,
before I got into recovery, I was blank. I felt blank, and my life looked like blank. So for me, I would answer that like before I got into recovery, I was lost. I drank too much to escape everything, the
mm-hmm.
pain, the fear, and the guilt. I isolated and I lied and I hated myself. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm.
like my thing to you would be like before you got into recovery, you was what?
Self-centered.
And you felt like what?
Um, I felt like I had to prove I had to prove something to everybody.
And your life looked like what?
Um, a facade.
Okay.
Nah,
So
people could saw one thing, but
yeah,
they
yeah.
didn't know inside.
What was really
But I,
going on?
yeah, yeah.
So the second one was what got me to reach for help. So it says what made me realize I needed help was blank. I couldn't keep living with blank. So for me, it was I hit a point where I couldn't keep doing it. I wasn't sure I believed in my, foundation of, growing up in the church or AA or anything, but I knew I couldn't do it alone. So I had to revert back to my foundation of growing up to the church and then going to AA. So
Mm,
going
mm.
back to you, what made you realize you needed help was what?
Um, I was losing my sanity. Like I was, I just lived to drink at that point. Like I didn't. I remember sitting in the basement one day saying to myself, "When was the last day you didn't drink?"
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't remember.
Wow.
Like it had got that regular. Like the drinking had became so routine that I forgot how it was to feel sober.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because I'm retired, so
Oh yeah,
every day was Friday. It
you got too
wasn't
much
no
time on your hands.
yeah. It wasn't no like, and I had tons of money, and every day was Friday. So while everybody else had to think about going to work, it was times during the week where I forgot the day of the week because it didn't matter.
That's what's up.
It ain't matter to me that it was Tuesday. You
Mm.
know, unless I had a tournament coming up. If I ain't had no tournament going on, it ain't really matter.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. So,
Yeah.
and then point number three is my recovery doesn't look like a textbook. I pray some days. I journal a lot. I
Mm-hmm.
go to meetings when I can.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I focus on being honest and showing up. So, point number three for you would be, uh, what does your recovery look like?
Sacrifice. Sacrifice like everything for God. Like so I just what I did was turn my recovery. I just basically turned my whole life into a ministry. and recovery is the base of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand once I did my speech in rehab and people were staring at me like where they was, I knew then that that was my purpose.
Yeah,
So
that first time you speak, boy. Whew.
yeah. That so then I knew that recovery was my ministry. So now he blessed me to be able to do my ministry every day I go to work. So then
That's
when I go into the meetings, well, a lot of people talk about the alcohol part. I say some alcohol part, but my real purpose there is to talk about him.
yeah.
And so to talk about what he did for me. You feel what I'm saying? So then when I
Oh,
go out to other places on commitments, I do the same thing. So then
mhm.
it turns into that turned into my ministry. So my that's what my recovery looks like. Like
So what do you find? What do you find strength in?
um my purpose, my the Holy Spirit, my spouse, that's what I find like strength in. And what I've been through. Like every time I think about like um this is too much or this or that, I think about her, my first wife, and what she went through. And be
Mm-hmm.
like, she went through that. Just those last moments of her life was so like I can't even kind of imagine what she was going through, like
Yeah.
getting um suffering like that. Who
Mm-hmm.
am I to stop what I'm doing? Because I'm tired. I don't want to go to a meeting. I'm tired. I don't want to do this, or I'm
Mm-hmm.
just feeling aggy. Like then I feel like I'm super selfish for even thinking about it, knowing what she had went through.
I feel you. And then it says sometimes I struggle with blank, but I've learned blank.
Um, Patience and expectations. But I
Oh,
learned to be more patient and not to try to put crazy expectations on other people because only time I'm hurt is when like I expect something for a person to be a certain way and I can't accept that they not. So being able to have acceptance is that's what I learned from it.
that's what's up.
You know what I
So,
mean?
well, yeah, point number 4. So, my high, I like this one. My higher power isn't some guy in the sky. It's something bigger than me.
Mm.
Sometimes it's the stillness I feel when I'm doing the next thing right. So my question to you is, what is your higher power to you?
My driver, my life, my it guides me everywhere I go. It tells me what to say. You know, when I'm at meetings and sometimes I know what I'm gonna say because I know my story, but it'll add on to it.
Yeah.
But one of the meetings I went to when I had to do a story in 20 minutes and I didn't know exactly what I was gonna say because I had just spoke at that place.
Uh huh.
Um, I had just spoke at that place a couple months ago. So I didn't want to, my story is so unique. Once people hear it, they're gonna be like, "Oh, I heard this already." So I didn't know what I was gonna do, and I only had half the time, and I
Yeah.
prayed, and the Holy Spirit just talked for the whole 20 minutes.
Oh,
You
that's
get what I'm
deep.
saying?
Oh yeah.
And I'm speaking, and when it's coming out, and you like, whoa, and the
Oh yeah.
people are engaged, and you like that feeling right there.
That was me
That's
that day at the when you invited me to the joint. You know what I mean? Like,
that feeling. You know what I'm saying? That feeling right there
uh,
is the feeling that I was searching for all of those years.
I'm like, I had took the
Yeah.
time to do the PowerPoint, got in there, started doing the PowerPoint, and then the Holy Spirit just took over, and there wasn't no need to go back to the PowerPoint. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? I
So
let
you
go and
understand
let
what
go.
I'm talking about. You understand what I'm
Yeah.
talking about.
You know what I'm
You
saying?
understand what I'm talking about.
So, what have I gained from recovery? Recovery has given me blank, not just sobriety.
Um, redemption,
Okay.
redemption.
And what's the biggest change in you?
Um, Not being self-centered, being like wanting to being selfless, being like when I wake up now, I ask him to tell me like who I need to help. You know what I
Mm,
mean? That's my whole focus now. Who can I help? Who can I help? Not what can I get? What can I get?
oof, boy. Hey, I'm gonna close with this. Today, I just try to be better than I was yesterday, and let
Mm.
others live their own path too. Right.
That's
So
dope. That went with what we was just talking about.
it goes back to live and let live, right?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. That's
So
what I was saying. Yeah,
my
that's the
last
Holy
one,
Spirit. That's the Holy
yep,
Spirit.
my last one for you to fill in the blank is these days I try to live by what?
The commandments.
Okay. And one day at a time, I remind myself that what?
Um, what God did for me.
Mm.
What He did for me. I always gotta remember that. Now you make sure I get a tell them to give me a grade for this paper that you just doing while we on this podcast.
Yeah, man. This
I know I'm only messing with you. I'm
this
only
wasn't a paper. This was the Holy Spirit, man. I just put
Oh,
it in,
okay. Okay. I
and
thought you was
because
I
I
thought
was
you got
writing
it from
down
there.
questions, and then I try to,
Oh, then when I saw you writing for the longest, I was like, what are you doing? Oh, we got it
yeah,
from there. That was dope
yeah.
though. You broke that joint down, man. I appreciate
Oh
that,
yeah.
man.
I
That
mean,
was dope.
because that's what it's all about. You know what I'm saying? So like,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I said,
That's
one
dope.
thing, the time. Put it like this: brother told me a long time ago, time makes a difference, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So the time that we lived in the world doing the wrong thing, that was a lot of time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%.
Right?
100%.
And the time that we've been in the truth, you know what I mean? It seemed like it's more than the time when we was out in the world. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
the gratification is knowing that it's not about you. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The fact
Mm-hmm.
that you more responsible, the fact that you are being fed. You know what I mean? Like that's the whole
Mm-hmm.
thing. When you said something tonight, and I thought about it, all the trips you used to do, all the tournaments you used to do, all centered about you making other people happy. You know what I'm saying? Not
Mm-hmm.
realizing that nobody in that group that you was running with never took the time to see what you was really going through. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that's the
yeah.
thing.
No,
You know,
I had like a couple friends that was there through, and they still tight with me now. I got like
mhm.
3 friends that's really, really tight that been through, but it was a whole lot of them of what you talking about. So it
Oh yeah,
ain't like,
trust me. Yeah,
like you know
yeah.
what I mean. But I ain't gonna discredit. It's a few
No.
of them that was like rock. One of them was gone. That was my brother Doc. He gone. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Then I got a couple others that was rock solid, no matter what's
Oh,
going
yeah.
on. You know what I mean? That was there. So, but um, that spirit opened up the night when you brought out that stuff, the the live and let live part. That let you know that all of this was supposed to happen the way it
Oh yeah.
was, man. You know
Oh
what I
yeah.
mean? Way
I
it
mean, it's
was.
funny because when you text me earlier, I was like, "Oh man, I got schoolwork to do. I ain't, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?"
yeah, yeah. Yeah, jump on that schoolwork. How
I'm
how
done. Wait, I did it before we
oh,
came
we
on,
got
right?
on? All right, so that motivated you to get it
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
That's
So
good.
and I
That's
and
good.
then,
That's
then my
good.
wife was sitting here. She was like, "You ain't telling me you was doing no podcast." I was like, "You all right? You was like a whole mile away from me." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
And I
yeah.
said, then you always be ear hustling anyway, so you'd be like,
Oh
"Oh
yeah,
man,
mine do too. Mine do too.
yeah,
She want to know what I'm
y'all was
talking
talking about some good stuff the other night." You know what I'm saying? He was like, "What you
Yeah.
say?" I said, "Well, go on Facebook and check it out and see what I said." You know what I'm saying? So,
All
but
praises. All praises.
I mean, like I said, everything always happened for a reason. You know what I mean? Like, and I
Mhm.
always say, when I need it, you know what I mean, to just keep my focus going this way, bro. You one of the first people that call me or text me. You know what I'm saying? I'll be
That
like,
be the
yo, and
spirit.
I can't run from the Mike Melton text. You know what I'm saying? So
That
like,
be the
I
that be
don't
the
got no basketball tonight. What I'm gonna say? No, I can't do
yeah. Let's do
7:30.
it.
You know what I'm
Let's
saying?
do it. Let's do it.
These these are nothing but the Holy Spirit for me, man.
Let's do it. Let's do it. All right,
So,
bro. Pray us out. Um,
sure. Lord, is once again that we come to you, asking you for your grace. We just ask that this message resonates in someone's heart who needs to know that you are the answer to their problems. Father
mm,
God, we just ask that you continue to use us to spread your word. And we just ask that you continue to watch over the people who are battling with addiction tonight, Lord.
mm.
We give all their problems, we give their doubt, and we give everything to you. In the name of Jesus, we pray. Amen.
Amen, brother, man. All right, bro. I'm gonna hit you up tomorrow. We might, if you open tomorrow, we might could link on around 6:30 or 7 o'clock or something like
Okay.
that. I'll hit you up tomorrow.
Sounds
All
good,
right.
man. We're about to go on vacation with the family to Orlando. So
When? When you leave?
I leave Saturday, but yeah, Saturday.
Oh yeah, so you probably gonna have to get ready tomorrow and stuff though.
No,
That's
I'll be good, man. Shoot.
all right. So I'll hit you up tomorrow. And what's
Yeah.
going
If
on my
not,
time?
we
We'll go
definitely
from
can jump on one day, Monday or Tuesday next week. But I'm on
there. Got you.
vacation, so because
All right.
I'll be looking for things to do while they out.
No doubt, man.
All
Enjoy
right,
yourself and be
man.
safe down there, bro. I
Yes,
love
sir.
you, man.
God bless you, bro. Love you too,
All right.
man.
All right, no doubt. It was good being back on with Jay tonight, man. We had some fun. We gotta link back up a couple more times, man. And I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast tonight. And I'm gonna get some clips ready. So enjoy the rest of your night. Shalom.